Hey everybody, just wanted to let you know we're doing a little playthrough of Die in the Dungeon. Put together my own print and play, and for those of you that are doing the same, thank you very much. And just kind of neat to see it all on the table in physical form, closer to how I envision it to be in its final image. Of course, gotta have the dice. I mean, can't play Die in the Dungeon without dice. What I've done with the cards is just put them in sleeves, so I've put them all single file, the ability cards, and then each of the hero cards. Instead of double siding them, I just printed them single and sleeved them. Makes my life a bit easier instead of trying to line up double cards. Got my turn sequence card, and then what I've done with the tiles, I know you can't see them yet, but what I did is I put each of the tiles below the matching tile. So if it was a tile that went straight across, I would put another tile that goes straight across on top instead of printing them back to back. So it's an option for the print and play if you're not wanting to do duplex printing or use a lot of glue. So without further ado, we're going to go for a delve into the dungeon with the die roller and see what happens. Alright, well hello everybody and welcome to a playthrough of the print and play version of Die in the Dungeon. Now I'm going to be working from the side over here just so the camera gets the best angle, and this here is going to be the die rolling area. So all of these fancy dice that we have available are going to be where we're going to roll, and maybe I will use blue dice just so you have a better visual of the results. Green on green doesn't work so well. So there we have that. And so you can see here I've got laid out the creature card. So this is the die roller, and I'm sure anybody who's watched a lot of my Facebook or Instagrams have seen this creature many times, and it has all the different icons. So a time, might, agility, magic, health, and ability. And then it's got two permanent abilities that can be used by using that number of ability points. But something that was added since the last time I did a live example was the ability cards. So rather than having 4 or 5 different abilities on a card, on the main card, you also will have these specific creature abilities that are single time use. Keeping in mind that you still have to spend ability points to use it. So if I want to do the roll of command, I have to spend 4 ability points and use this card. And this card's done for the end of the game, for the duration of the game. So single use abilities, multiple use abilities. We have here a die minion. So I don't have the eyes on this one, but a die minion is a bonus roll that you can add to any roll you do in the game, and you can acquire more of those as you progress through the dungeon. So we've got one of those, and I don't want to forget to use those. This is the turn sequence card, and I do have the flip side is supposed to be the battle sequence, but I've got that memorized anyway. Then another part of the print and play is the character ability chart, hero chart. So the hero chart tells you each of the main classes' basic abilities and each of the main classes' die roll bonuses if they get high enough on an attack roll. So again, I know what these are. I'll keep them further away. But for those of you doing the print and play, this will be absolutely crucial in combat. All right, and then finally we've got the hero cards. So there are 4 types of heroes, and they often band together in different ways. And they're going to be level 1 or level 2 in this particular print and play. So there's a wizard, a warrior, a cleric, and a rogue, and they each have their own independent powers as you saw on that chart. So we're going to fight lots of these bad guys in the dungeon. Bad for us, they're technically the good guys, but and then of course we have the dungeon itself. And so the dungeon is kind of predetermined, at least the ending row is, and we'll use our standee to progress through this dungeon. On the start tile is where we will begin. Gotta love the flaming d20 there. So we will start there, and we're allowed to go anywhere we want, knowing that each time we do, it's going to affect our time. So let's give this a playthrough. We're going to attempt to do the entire thing this time instead of just a sample. I think I've got enough time to do it. And and may very well die in the dungeon. This is not an easy game to beat, at least at this point in its development. So first thing we're going to do is just make a foray to the right and see if we can collect an extra diaminion, knowing that it might hurt us to do so, but we just want to do that. So like I mentioned in the preview, normally these would be double-sided and I would flip them, but for the print and play I just printed both sides, and I'm going to reveal them as I go. And if you don't like to print double-sided, that's an option for you as well. So we came across arrows. So arrows, the one on the top left doesn't apply unless we have heroes. In the later version of the game, so as not the playtesting version, this will represent the difficulty level of this particular tile. And so you're only going to have a certain amount of number ones and a certain amount of number twos, or threes or fours, depending on how hard you decide to make the dungeon on yourself. Anyway, there's an arrow trap. So somebody's set a trap of arrows in this part of the dungeon, and we have to make an evade check, which is actually going to say agility, but same thing, it's that little winged icon. And if the result is less than 8, I lose 2 health. Now, I already predetermined what I wanted my die stats to be, but normally you would have picked these 4 stats and rearranged your dice to where you want them to be at the beginning of the game. Okay, so to make an evade check or agility check, I have to roll the same die as my agility. And so in this case, it's a d12. I chose to be a really fast die roller this time. So I have to roll a d12, and I have to roll a result higher than, I have to roll 8 or higher. I've rolled a 10, so I've successfully evaded the arrow trap. I don't get any bonus for that, but I also don't take a penalty. But I do lose 1 time as I progress to that part of the dungeon. So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go to the next part of the dungeon. When I go there, I'm going to immediately gain this diaminion. So now I've got 2 of them at my disposal. And what am I going to encounter here? I found Timeless. So Timeless, we have to see that we have to follow this, and then we have to face this encounter. So what this says is each time I'm hit this battle, I'm going to lose 1 time. And if I win this battle, I'm going to gain 4 time. So first I'm going to lose 1 time for traveling to that spot. And then I'm going to fight a level 1 rogue and a level 1 wizard. So this level automatically refers to how difficult these hero cards are going to be. So we're going to put that down where it belongs. I'm going to grab a level 1 rogue and a level 1 wizard. And so these 2 are going to be who I'm fighting for the duration of this battle. And the heroes always get to go first, even though I'm encountering them in the dungeon. You know, the bad guy is always suffering. So that's a particular way you suffer in this game. You don't get to go first unless something tells you otherwise. So when there is a collection of heroes, depending on which heroes are in the party, they'll do that number of attacks. So if there is a single warrior in the party, the warrior would attack with might. If there's a rogue in the party, they attack with agility. And if there's a wizard in the party, they attack with magic. Meanwhile, clerics just help defend. So in this case, I'm going to be attacking with a rogue with the agility first. And what we do is we add the agility of all members of the party, the hero party. So we have a total of 5 agility. And then we're going to have them attack our mighty creature with the die that can roll at minimum that value. So a d4 could not roll a 5, which means we're going to be rolling with a d6. And what we do is re-roll the die. This is an agility attack. And whatever the result is, we compare it to our current agility. So they rolled a 5, we have a 12, we successfully dodge that. Keeping in mind that the heroes always have a chance to hit you. So if they ever roll the max value of the die they're rolling, you are going to take a blow. And that might seem unfair if they're down to a 4. That's a 25% chance. They actually might have a higher chance of hitting on a d4 than a d20. But that's to represent that when they're weak and cowering in the corner, they find weird ways to defeat you. Anyway, they missed with their agility, and now they get a magic attack. Their magic attack is 6, plus 1 is 7. In order to roll a 7, I need to roll a d8. And they're going to be rolling against my magic, which is set to 6. I kept my magic low this game. So if they roll a 7 or an 8, that's a hit. They rolled a 6, so that is a miss. Alright. So then we go to my round of combat. I get to pick any form of combat, or at the beginning of the turn I was supposed to gain an ability point. So I can choose to attack with might, with agility, or with magic. And I want to keep in mind that what I'm rolling against is their total. So if I were rolling might, I'm trying to beat a 3. If I were rolling against agility, I'm trying to beat a 5. And if I'm rolling against magic, I'm trying to beat a 7. And the die I roll is based on the stat that I chose. So I might, at this point in time, want to roll a d10. Now I'm not going to roll these dice because these are my permanent stat values. I'm going to roll other dice, and that's why you need 3 sets of dice in the game. So I'm going to roll a d10. For might, I rolled a 9, which defeats 3. So I get to choose a hero that's in the party and say that's the one I blasted and defeated. So I'm going to say that I defeated the wizard. So they go away. Now the rogue, it's back to the party's turn. They get to choose if they, or they don't get to choose, they attack automatically. It's all AI. So they're going to attack with agility, and they only get to roll a d4. Now d4s don't roll well, so you got to roll them in your hand really well before you drop it. So this one rolled a 1, so that's a miss. So I'm going to attack again, and I'm going to be attacking with my magic die, just to show you how it's different. So a magic die, even though I have a less chance, all I need is a 2 or higher to hit anyway. So if I were to roll my magic, I roll a d6, not a d10. So I've rolled a 4 and defeated the rogue. So do I get anything for defeating the heroes? Yes, I get a powerful sense of accomplishment. The die roller has destroyed them. Do I get anything else? No. As we do some more playtests and get player feedback, that could change, but at this point in time, defeating heroes is just part of the game, and it will, we will have a kind of a how well you did scoring chart in the final version of the game. So defeating heroes will give you that perk, but otherwise it doesn't help you. Okay, so I've had 2 turns, so I should actually have 2 ability points right now. So at the beginning of each turn, you upgrade your ability die by 1. So you would start with 0. On your first turn, you go to 1. On your second turn, you go to 2. And so now, at any point, I can use ability cards that are 1 or 2 and use up those points. I have to remember that. Alright. At the beginning of my turn, I haven't taken any damage, so I'm going to keep on traveling. And I'm going to be greedy. No. Should I be greedy? I got to remember I only have 20 time to win the game, so I'm going to go up here actually. I have to drop my time to 17 and see what's under this tile. So under this tile we have battle magic. So notice the 2 there. That's very important when you're encountering. I forgot that the last time I played my own game. I'm just so excited to play and show you guys how it works. But this hero's might value is added to their magic value when they're determining their magic attack die. So what that means is if I don't do anything to stop them, the wizard's attack is going to be more powerful than usual. So we'll remember that. We will pull out a level 2 warrior, so that instead of a 1, we grab a level 2 warrior and a level 2 wizard. And at this point in the print and play, we don't have any mixed levels, so you're not going to find a level 1 warrior with a level 2 wizard, but that could change. So there we go, and you can see that their stats are slightly higher than the level 1s were, and that's because they're more experienced heroes trying to take you down. So now, what happens at the beginning of the combat? The first thing I get to do is choose if I want to use an ability. So before they get to attack me, I could use an ability. So right now I've got 2 ability points. I could use a roll of telekinesis, and that would let me automatically succeed a check, so it doesn't really help me here. I could do a roll of sleep and choose a hero card to try to put them out of the battle. Or I could use an I modify. The next time I would roll a die, I can increase it to the next size for that particular roll, and then I can spend time to adjust it. So it's a decent ability, but probably one I don't need at this point in time when I'm only fighting 2 heroes. So I'm going to choose not to use an ability, which means it goes to the hero's attack turn. So in the hero's attack turn, because they have a fighter, they are going to roll their might, which is 6 plus 1 is 7. And in order to get 7, they have to roll at least a d8. So they're going to roll a d8 for might. And the tile doesn't affect that, so they rolled a 4 for might, which is a miss. Great. Now they're going to do their magic attack, which is an 8 plus 2 is a 10. So they're going to roll a d10, but remember, the hero's might value is added to their magic value when determining their magic attack. So instead of the d10 that I normally do for magic, I'm actually going to add 6 more. So 10 plus 6 is 16. The only way I could get a 16 is by rolling a d20. So all of a sudden my magic attack becomes that much more powerful. So we're going to roll that magic attack. They rolled a 3 against my magic of 6. They actually missed, so I'm very thankful for that. So now I get to counterattack or do my attack roll. I definitely want to take out that wizard, but I don't have to target the wizard. All I have to do is a hit against the party. So I look at the party stats and decide where do I think I could do the most damage. For might, I'd have to roll a 7, so that could be tough. I have a 20% chance, 30% chance of doing that. For agility, I'd have to roll a 7. That's pretty fair. And for magic, I'd have to roll a 10, which I can't even do. So I'm going to roll a d12. Agility, my 12 roll against their 7. So I have a decent chance, 40% chance, 45% chance. And I've rolled a 9. So 9 against a 7 is a hit. So I get to destroy one of their creatures. Now it makes sense to me to kill the wizard because they get a bonus from the warriors. We're just going to take that wizard out of the puzzle here. So now the warrior's mad. He gets to attack unless I use an ability, which I'm not. So warrior now just rolls a d6. Against my 10, that means they need a 6 to hit me. They rolled a 1, so they miss. I will attack with my agility. I rolled a 7 against the 4. That's a hit, so the warrior goes down. Now I haven't had to show you how to use my stats to boost my scores yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that point. It's not going to be a perfect game. I'm going to take some damage. But either way, I did get here. So that was 1 time, 2 time, 3 time got me here. Again, I don't get any bonus for defeating those guys. I would just earn some extra points at the end of the game, or kind of evaluate how many points I won at the end of the game. For this particular game, what we're going to say is every level 1 hero is worth 1 point and every level 2 hero is worth 2 points, just to keep the math simple and see what kind of score we get. Alright, so doing pretty well. I think I'm going to lose a time and progress to this Dominion token. So I've got 3 that I can use when I want to. And what's under this tile? Well, under this tile that we normally flip over is a collapsing tunnel. Make a might check. If the result is less than 8, I lose 2 health. So I lost 1 time to go here. I have to roll a might check if it's less than 8. So I also gained an ability point, so I'm at 3 ability points. If I look at my die roller, I do have a roll of telekinesis. Use this ability when I might make a might or agility check. I automatically succeed the check. So I could risk rolling 8, 9, or 10, or I could just use my roll of telekinesis. So I'm going to use that. I'll use my ability point. I'm going to go down to 2. I don't want to lose that extra health. So that card goes out of the game. I just have these abilities plus those left. Nothing wrong with that. And I survived the collapsing tunnel. I didn't take any damage there. So, 16 time. I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to go spelunk to this Dominion. So I'm going to lose 1 more time. I'm at 15 time. And one thing I forgot earlier was timeless. So I was supposed to get an extra 4 time. So I should have gone back up to my max of 20 at that point in time. Because you can never go higher than the highest value of the die. So from there I would have been at 20, 19, 18, I should be at 17 now. Alright, so we go here, grab that Dominion, and what did we come across? The focused group. So I gain an ability point right away, read the text on the card. So I go from 2 up to 3. And if I'm at my maximum after gaining, I upgrade my die. I'm not, because I used an ability point. So that would have been cool to upgrade my ability die, because I would have gone from having a D4 to a D6, which give me more maximum ability points. But that's okay. But it's not over. We have a level 1 battle here. We have to fight 1 of each class. So we're going to whip those guys out. 1 of each class. 1, 1, 1, and 1. All right. So can you see that a bit? Yeah. So having 1 of each class is probably the most dangerous situation to be in, because that means that they're going to get, I'll put them in order here. they're going to get a might attack, an agility attack, a magic attack, plus protection from the cleric. So maybe they're not going to get the boost of multiples, because if you have 3 fighters, they get a special boost there. But they are going to have the boost of having extra attacks. So no matter what, it's going to be a challenge. But all right. So I have 3 ability points. At the beginning of the round, I could choose to use one of my abilities. I could use the eye gaze, which means each time I roll dice this turn, I roll twice as many dice and add the values together. I could use a roll of disintegration and kill one of those guys, or I could just risk it and try to fight them. Tough call, hey? We are going to spend all 3 points. So that'll be, and we're going to use the eye gaze. So every time I roll dice this turn, I roll twice as many and add them together. I may not be able to modify them with my stats, but rolling twice as many dice is pretty cool. So for that, I'm going to have extra dice brought over. So that's my ability. They still get their first attack. So the warrior gets to attack with might. Might is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In order to get a 9, they need to roll a d10. In order to hit me, they need a 10. That is a hit. So when I take damage, this is the first time I've taken damage, I have to lose a health or lose one of the stat that they hit with. So if I lose health, that gets me closer to death. So if I ever get to 0 health, I'm a dead die roller. But if I lose might, I become easier to hit over time and have less modifying dice. So it's a delicate balance what you want to do. I will take a might damage this time around. So I'm at 9. Now they attack with agility. So that's 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. They get to roll a d10 again for agility. And have rolled a 3 against my 12 as a miss. Then magic, 6, 7, 8. So they roll a d8 for magic. Rolled a 7 against my 6 as a hit. I'm going to lose a health for that one. So I already took 2 hits this turn. But now it's my turn to attack. I'm going to attack with d12, my evasion. And their defense is 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have to beat a 9, but I have my eye gaze going on. And they can't resist the power of the eye gaze. So I've got 11 against their 9, which means that's a win. Now the cleric has a special power where if the cleric is in the party, you cannot destroy any other characters. You must destroy the cleric hero. So the cleric is the first to die, protecting the group. Alright, now it's their attack again. They get to go back to their might. So 4, 5, 6, 7. They roll a d8 for might. They roll a 7, which is a miss. Then they do their agility, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is a d8. 4, that's a miss. And their magic, 6, 7, 8. So d8 all the way around here. 7 against 6, that's a hit. Now I cannot use my dice to modify that roll. Not that I would want to anyway, because I would lose more than I'm going to lose anyway. But I am going to lose 1 point. So I will lose another health. I'm down to 6. My attack, I'm going to attack with agility again. And I have 10, so I've defeated them. We're going to take out the wizard because magic is my weakest power and I don't want to get hit anymore. Now they're going to attack with a d6 for might. That is a miss. And they're going to attack with a d6 for agility. And that is a miss. I will attack back. Now I've really got them in the ringer there. d12 rolls. I'm going to take out the... doesn't even matter. Take out the warrior. And then the rogue attacks me one last time with a d4. 25% chance of hitting me here. They roll a 3, so that's a miss. And this guy is toast. Alright. Making some good progress in this dungeon. We're going to go to the next tile. I could come down here, but instead I'm going to keep moving up. So I will use a time. Now one thing that I can also do at the beginning of the turn is I can each turn lose up to 3 health, or time to gain up to 3 health. So I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to go down 2 more time and bring my health back to 8. So it's like you're sitting there using time resting before going to chase down the heroes, and you only have so much time before strong enough heroes get down that you can even possibly defeat. Because you know, when level 20 heroes come, the die roller just doesn't stand a chance. Anyway, we've already taken the time off to move here. And what do we have? We've got some healers. So this is the first time we have the question mark. And what it says is, for the random hero, re-roll if you do not roll a warrior, rogue, or wizard. Okay. And they're level 1. So no matter what, we're going to have 3 level 1 clerics. And what that means is whatever character gets revealed is going to be surviving a few rounds. So when it comes to a question mark, I will roll a d6 and I will allocate 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, and I have to put this in the rules, 5 would be lose a health, and 6 would be you get to choose the hero. So I rolled a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're fighting a wizard with those clerics. All right, so healers will be staying there, and that's where I am now, but now I have to fight them. I gain an ability point at the beginning of the round. I'm not very good at remembering that. I should just read out this card every turn to make sure. And so I could use my I modify ability, but I'm going to choose not to. And we're going to let them do their wizard attack. Now, one other thing I should mention, for each cleric in the party beyond the first, lose an ability point at the start of combat. There are 3 clerics, so I actually lose 2 ability points, so I don't have any ability points anyway. Yeah. So the wizard is the only one that gets to attack. It's got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 against my 6. They have a 50% chance of hitting. That's a hit. When a wizard attacks, they have their magic bonus. So the magic bonus, and I wouldn't look at this earlier because I was rolling d8s, but if a 10 or higher is rolled on a successful magic attack, I lose a time instead of a health. And that might not sound like a bad thing, but if you're running out of time at the end of the dungeon, you could be in the middle of a fight and lose because the wizard stopped you in your tracks. Okay, my attack. I think I'm going to use agility here. They've got 2, 4, 6, 7 agility, so I will definitely use agility for the attack. 4 is a miss. If I wanted to use 4 points, I could raise this up to an 8 and have a hit. I don't think it's worth it, so I'm just going to let the miss stay. So then they're going to attack me. Again, 6, 8, 10, 12 magic attack. They rolled a 1, so thankfully that's a miss. So I'm going to go back and roll my agility again. 4 is a miss again. They're going to attack me with magic. 4 is a miss. I'm going to attack them with agility. 12, so I scored a hit. I must get rid of a cleric. As I weaken their hero party, their attack power will lessen. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they downgrade from a D10 to, or D12 to a D10. So here we go, magic attack. 1, that's a miss. My agility attack is a 12, so take out another cleric. Mwahaha. These guys now only have an 8 to attack, so they rolled a 6. That is a hit against my magic. So I will take a health damage, that's fine. I will attack back. They've only got 3 agility, so that's a hit. Kill the last cleric. The wizard now only has a d6 to attack with. And 4 against 6 is a miss. And I'll finish him off. Score. So we have defeated the healer party. Congratulations. So now we're at a point, we're at 13 time. And we know that the epic heroes are in the final row of the dungeon. And I'm supposed to defeat all 3 of them. And if I take wizard damage, I'm going to lose time. So I could risk it. I can go in here and try to get a d20 die minion, or might bonus die, or an agility upgrade, and that'll upgrade my die to make it easier to hit. So if I really want to have high agility, I could make it to this part of the dungeon and try to upgrade my attack to a d20. So we're going to be brave and we're going to do that. So we're going to travel to this part of the dungeon. I will gain an ability point at the beginning of my turn. I will lose a time to travel to the next part of the dungeon, and I will reveal that dungeon tile. This is a deadly tile. So we're going to have a level 1 fighter and thief, and if I'm hit this battle, I lose an additional health point. So that doesn't sound too dangerous. level 1 and level 1. I'm not going to use an ability, so the warrior is going to attack me with a d6. Roll the 3 against my 9 is a miss. Then the rogue is going to attack with their agility. 2 against the 12 is a miss. So I will attack with my agility. Yeah. A 5 against their 6 is a miss. I'm going to make my first modification. So rolling in agility, I can use my stat, reduce it as many points as I want. So I'm going to reduce it by 2 to increase this by 2. If you've ever played Castles of Burgundy, you know how that's working, or any major dice game. So now I have a 7. 7 against 6 is a hit. Remember, I don't win ties, so I have to defeat their number. And now I get to destroy one of their cards. So I will destroy the warrior. So now the rogue attacks me with a mighty d4. That's a 2, so that's a miss. I'll attack with my agility. That's a 9. That guy goes down. So now we're here. Beginning of the next round, we'll gain an ability point. We will lose a time down to 11 and find this part of the dungeon, which is might. So what this says is I gain 2 might right away. So my might, which is 9, goes to its maximum value of 10. I can't go any higher than my max. And then, after gaining, I can upgrade my die. So it says if you're at your maximum, which I am, after gaining I get to upgrade my die. So I take my d10, it goes away, and I turn it into a d12. Keeping in mind that I have to keep that value of 10. So I don't get any more stat points, but I do have a higher die roll for might, so that'll help me. Right on. But it's not done yet. I gotta fight 4 fighters. This is the first time we've fought a multiple of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 level 1 guys. So they all have the same stats, of course. But now when you group them together, they have 16 might. But the warrior has another perk. For each warrior in the party beyond the first, their might and evasion gain +1 for the rolls. So when they roll a die, they're going to add +1. And if they roll over 10, I take double damage. So, painful. I may have forgot to lose an extra point on deadly. I think I did get hit once. So I'm going to reduce that by 1 more. Okay. So I have 2 ability points. I could put one of these warriors to sleep, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let them hit me. Gonna let them go. So they're gonna have 16 might. They get to attack with a d20, and they get to add 1, 2, 3 to their roll because there's extra warriors in the party. So that is an 18, and 18 plus 3. They have a roll of 21, but don't worry, 20 doesn't matter. And so because that value is over 10, I'm going to take 2 damage instead of 1. So I can take 2 might, or I can take 2 health, or a combination of. I'm going to take 2 might damage, go down to 8. And I will do my attack. Now warriors are extremely weak in magic, but when there's 4 of them, they've got a little bit of magic equipment. So they've got 4 defense in magic, and I've only got a 6 attack. For their agility, they have 2, 4, 6, 8, and I have a d12 attack. So I think it still makes more sense to roll the d12. The math might even be identical, but I've got more agility points to spend to modify. So we're going to roll that d12. We're going to use an ability point. So we're going to go from 2 down to 1 and use the I modify. So the next time I would roll a die, normally a d12 for agility, I get to roll the next size up, which is a d20, and I can spend a time to modify it if I want. So here we go. d20, I rolled a 2. Ooh, that's a tough number. We're going to let it slide. I can't modify that many times. So now the warriors attack us with a d20. They have a 14, that's a hit, and with their fighter bonus they get extra damage, 2 damage. So I will take 1 on each. So 1 damage there, 1 damage here. I'm down to 9. Brutal for fighters. So I'm going to attack again, and I'm going to modify one more time because I just want to take one of these fighters out. So now I have a 9. Rolling a 9 against 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's a hit. We get rid of one of those fighters. Thank goodness. So now when they attack, they've got 4, 8, 12. A little bit more even in my favor. So 5 against an 8. That is a miss. Now I can roll my d12 against their 2, 4, 6. Much better chance of hitting now that I've knocked one of them out. Yep, that's a hit. I forgot to add their bonus last time. They would have had a +2 to their 5, so they would have had a 7, which is a miss. Okay, so they attack now. They have a d8, and they actually get +1 to their roll. So 1 is a miss, and then I attack. 7 against 4 is a hit. And then they attack with a d4 now, and no more pluses. They rolled a 2, that's a miss, and so I'll finish off the warrior. Yep. So destroyed the warrior. So I'm at 5 health, back up to 1 ability at the beginning of my next turn. 6 magic, 9 agility, 8 might, and 11 time. Not doing bad, I don't think, but we're going to move into this part of the dungeon. So I'm going up, and I'm gaining agility. So what happens is I get to take this die out and upgrade it, keeping it at the same value, but it's going to become a d20. So this will be a 9 on a d20 now. Got these Magic the Gathering spin down dice, so they're a bit larger, but they easier to track life with. So there we go, we're at 9, so that'll go away. And so now I've got a really good agility roll. That d20 is awesome. But I still have to fight whatever's here. So we dive into the dungeon, and we found Timeless again. Each time I'm hit this battle, I'm going to lose a time. And if I win this battle, I'll gain 4 time. Once again, level 2, Thief and Wizard. So we'll put that there, level 2, Thief and Wizard. A little bit stronger. All right, now they're not in duplicate, so I don't have to worry about that upper ability, but a Thief does have a special ability where if you roll a 15 or higher, they attack again. That won't apply this round. Okay, so first off, I have 1 ability point. I don't want to use it. Second, if there's a rogue in the party, they get to attack, so that's 8 plus 3 is 11, which is a d12. They rolled an 8 against my 9 is a miss. And then they have 8, 9 for magic, which is a d10. And that's a 1, which is a miss. So nice first round of battle for me. Good chance to take them out. They've got 4 might, and they've got 11 agility and 9 magic. So I'm going to roll I'm actually going to attack with might, even though I've got my d20 agility. I think I have a better chance to hit with might. That 12 is a hit. There's no maximum value hit for me. That's just normal hit. And I can take one of these guys out. Again, magic is my weak spot, so it makes sense to kill a wizard to me. The rogue is going to fight me again, getting a d8. They rolled a 1, which is a miss. I'm totally wiping this guy out. And I'm just going to hit him with a d6 magic. Got a 5 out of 6 chance. 6, that's a hit. He goes down. No. Victorious. Alright. So on to the next round. I will gain an ability point and progress my way through over to here. I think I'm going to run to the end of the dungeon now and try to take out these heroes before I run out of time. So I'm going to be down to 10 time as I go to this. But there I gain 4 time. So I'm actually at 14 time. This is one of those tiles I don't know if I made it over powerful. So I'll be playing around with that one anyway. So I'm at 14 time, I make it here, and I have to fight the 2 casters. So that is a level 2 cleric and a level 2 wizard. but it says I cannot use might to attack in this battle. So I cannot use my d12. So 2 ability points. I could use one of my cards first. I could do the roll of sleep and try to have them make a magic check. They have to roll a 10 or higher, and they have a d12 to roll. So a pretty good chance that I would put them to sleep. Or I can just let the battle roll out. But each time they hit me, I'm going to lose time. So I'm going to use this ability. No, I'm going to save it. I might need ability points to fight the epic party. So we're just going to let them attack. The cleric doesn't attack, but the wizard does. The wizard attacks with magic. That's 8 plus 4 is 12. So they roll a d12 against my 6. Ooh, might have been a bad move not to kill one of them. 9 against 6, so I'm going to take damage, but it says each time I'm hit in this battle, I lose a time. So not only do I lose the wizard's damage, I'm also going to lose a time. It's supposed to be cumulative, and I probably have to make that more specific on the tile. So with the wizard, it's not over a 10, so I don't lose time from the actual wizard ability. So instead I will lose either a magic or a health. I will lose a magic, and then I lose my time automatically, just from that tile being there and me getting hit. So now I attack back. I think I'm going to go with my agility because I cannot attack with might this battle. So d20. We have rolled a 19, that's a hit. So we're taking out the cleric because we don't have a choice. And the wizard attacks with a d8. Here we go. Wizard has an 8. So even if I had a 12 magic, that 8 still would have hit. Because I got hit, I lose a time automatically. I'm down to 12 time. And I lose a health or a magic. I'll lose magic. Now I will counterattack. I will attack with my agility. 1. Ooh, critical. There's no critical misses in this game, but it still feels painful to roll a 1 when his agility is only a 3. So I could spend agility points to bring that up to a 4. It cost me 3 points. Or I could risk getting hit by the wizard again, who has a pretty decent roll against my magic. So I'm going to use my stat up. So I'm going to go turn my 1 into a 4 by subtracting 3 points. I'm going to go from 9 down to 6. And that will go up to 4 and the wizard will be defeated. I just can't afford to lose any more time to that guy. Alright, so we're going to, at the beginning of the round, go up to 3 ability points and lose a time. So I'm at 11 time, and we're about to go into the most dangerous, deepest, or upper reaching part of the dungeons, depending on how you look at it, and go up to this tile. And we have our first epic party. So in this epic party, the hero might attacks are going to deal an additional damage on a hit. This is a tough party. These are all level 2 characters. So this is where I might have made the game a little bit strong. So that's why we're testing it out. So 2 level 2 warriors. 1 level 2 there. 1 level 2 wizard. And 1 level 2 cleric. Protecting them all. So this is a mighty party. And chances are I'm going to be reducing these back down to 4 characters instead of 5, but we'll see. I've got 3 ability points, so I think now is a good time to whip out the roll of disintegration. You choose a hero card, it must make a magic check. If it rolls less than 10, that hero is defeated immediately. You may lose X time to reduce the hero's roll by -X. And if you read the bottom of the card, I have no choice but to dice draw you. There's a little flavor text from the die roller. Thank you to, I think somebody volunteered that information on the Facebook group, so thank you. Alright, So in this one I can choose any hero card. It's not like normal combat where I'd have to pick the cleric. This one would let me kill anything. So I'm going to try to kill a warrior just to reduce that attack roll. So this warrior must make a magic check, but they still add up their magic value. So they're going to have 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They're going to have a d20, and if they roll less than 10, that hero is defeated immediately. They rolled a 20, so I've used up my ability points, and again, it has no effect. So the alternative I can think of for this card is to have a secondary effect, or just make sure that you always hit with it. I haven't decided on that one. Either way, that card's used up. I've used my ability points, and I still have to fight these bad guys. So first they're going to do 1 might attack. So even though there's 2 warriors, they still only do 1 might attack, and their might value is pretty high. 6, 12, 16, 19, 20. So they're going to roll a d20, and they're going to get a +1 to their roll. And if they hit, it's going to be painful. So 18 plus 1 is 19. That's over 10. So they're already going to do 1 extra damage plus 1 extra damage here because it's a might. So I'm actually going to take 3 damage from that hit. That's painful. So I can lose might or health. We're going to lose 1 health and 2 might just to split it up a bit. So there we have it. And then the rogue still gets to attack. So it's 8, 12, 16, 20, 23. And if the rogue rolls higher than 15, they attack again. So they could attack repetitively. So they have a 12. That's not higher than 15, but it is higher than my agility of 6. So I am going to take a damage. It's not a might attack, so I don't take extra damage. So I will take 1 point of agility damage, so I'm down to 5. And the wizard attacks. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17. That d20 whips out again. They rolled a 3, which actually is a miss, so hallelujah. Luck of the die in my favor. So I'm going to attack. Now here's where Dominion tokens come into play. The way a Dominion token works is after you roll, if you feel you need a little boost, you can roll the value of the Dominion token and discard it. So I'm going to keep that here so I don't forget. So I'm going to attack agility, which was 23, right? 4, 8, 16, 20, 23. Because the alternatives are 10. Yeah, I'm not going to roll enough on the others, so I'm going to roll my d20. I get 23. I have an 8. So I could use extra Dominion tokens to try to whack these guys. Or I could wait till I roll a higher roll and just keep taking more damage. So in order to get 23, I would need a lot more than I can, so I'm not going to use the Dominion token yet. I'll pass the turn. They will attack me with their might again. That's a 3, 4, so they actually missed with their might. Thank goodness, that would have been painful. Attack with agility. They got a 2 against my 4, that's a miss. And then attack with their magic, which is also a d20. That's a 20, which is a hit, so I will take a magic damage. So we're getting to the nitty gritty here. I'm going to attack with my agility again. This time I have a 16, so to me it makes sense to try to go for the gold here. I'll use one of my 4 Dominion tokens, roll a d6 and add that. So now I have 18. I'm going to add another one. So 18 plus 2 is 20. And I'll use my last Dominion token. So I have 20, 26. So finally defeated the cleric. Whew. Again, this is level 2 Epic Hero Battle, which is the strongest one I have in the game right now. So it makes sense to try to use every resource I have to get through this battle. Okay, so we're back to the warriors. 6, 12, 15, 16, so they're still rolling a d20 to attack with a +1. So they have 4 + 1 is 5, which is a miss against my might. Yay. The rogue attacks for 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, so still a d20. They have an 18, which is a hit. I'm going to take that hit against my agility, so I'm down to 3. And because they hit, they get to attack again. They got a 19 again, which is another hit. I'll take the damage to my health. Now I don't have it written on there, but the maximum they're going to get is 1 additional attack per rogue in the party. So that's so that you can't have an infinite death cycle of assassin's blade stabbing you. Okay, and then the wizard attacks. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, still a d20. Ouch. 4 against my 3 is a hit. Take a magic damage. And I haven't gotten hit by might because that would have hit me for an extra damage. So my attack now. I have no ability points. I've used all my dominions, so everything is natural rolling now. I've got no secrets up my sleeve. So for magic, agility 4, 8, 16, 19. So I'm gonna, I shouldn't. Actually, I'm not going to let that agility I'll take as health damage because I might need that extra boost to get through this battle. Roll a d20, I have to roll really high on this d20. 12 against 4, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't have enough to stop them this time. So they're going to attack me. Go through the cycle again. So the warriors have a hit, and that's going to be for 3 damage. So I'll take all 3 on my might. Then the rogue, still a d20. 6 against my 3, that's a hit. I will take a health damage because I want my boost. And the wizard has an 18, that is a hit. But because it's over 10, I take time damage instead of health, which is actually to my benefit right now. My turn to counterattack. I will attack again with my d20. I have a 3, which is a miss, so I'll pass it back to them. These heroes are good. They're epic for a reason. The warrior attacks with a 15. That is, that's going to take me down. Because with a 16, they're going to do their usual 1 damage plus 1 damage and 1 additional damage. So I'm taking 3 damage. I cannot reduce my ability die below 1, so I'm taking 2 there. And then my last damage has to be my health. Oh, the warrior stabs its mighty die sword into my central eye, and as much as I would like to repel it, I cannot. So I have fallen to the level 2 epic party. Yeah, that was a tough one. So I did some extra exploring. I had more time left, so if I had ventured out a bit more, I might have been able to boost my magic die or get an extra couple of dominions that might have helped me in this battle. So some things to think about. Very curious if you think the game is too hard. You don't expect to win solo games every game. I think the ratio is about 25 to 40%. So maybe 2 to 4 games out of 10 games you're actually going to win. And you want to know that the reason you won isn't just die rolling, but it's also when I chose to use my ability cards, when I chose to use reduced stats versus health, when I chose to deep dive more in the dungeon and risk my time. So that's really what I'm going for with this game is push your luck, roll your luck, but modify it, and really see can you make it through the epic heroes. If I were to score this game based on that current ratio, I would have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 points. Just from heroes defeated, if we just went with that as a way to gauge how much damage you did this turn. So All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching through this if you did, and for enjoying what Dia in the Dungeon has to offer. And always open to any feedback about what you think could make the game run smoother, run better, how to adjust stats. I'm not asking you to design the game, but always like that input because